Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I will be doing a wrap up of all the books that I read in February and then also showing you my March TBR, which I just picked. It is currently the 25th of February, so we have a couple more days to go. I'm not quite done, but this is the only time that I can film this video. I will show you what I'm reading right now as well, because I may finish those books in February, but for now, we'll just be going through all the books that I have already read. I have them lined up back here, backwards, to hold some mystery. But yeah, I'll just get straight into that. Okay, starting off with my first book of the month, I read Love in the Time of Serial Killers. I thought it would be a fun book to get me into like the Valentine's Day, you know, spirit, I guess you could say. I don't know if you have a spirit for Valentine's Day, but sure. And I thought it was a bit of a fun twist on a romance. I don't know. Up my street. I thought it sounded fun. So this book is following a girl called Phoebe. She is I think PhD student. I think she's still like at uni studying something, but at like a really high level. And I believe it's like literature Englishy, but she wants to do her dissertation on like crime fiction. What's that called? Crime fiction? That doesn't sound right, but yeah, basically that. And she ends up moving into her dad, who's just passed away, his house, and she had a really not great relationship with him. She's had to move in because they're like cleaning it up to sell, and she meets the next door neighbor. Well, she has a bit of a weird run-in with the next door neighbor, and for the first like quarter of the book she decides that he's a serial killer, I guess. My opinion on this book, I think it is a perfectly average romance. You know what I mean by that. If you read romance, middle of the road, it gets you where you need to go, but it's not gonna like stick with you forever. I found the serial killer aspect to just be a bit strange, to be honest. It made her just seem a bit annoying and annoying and a bit erratic. Like he would just be walking down the street and she'd be like, he's on his way to murder someone. Good grief. Like, it'd be all these little weird things. I really quite liked the love interest, Sam, the serial killer. He was like kind of more the shy, quiet type. I believe he was a school teacher, which was sweet, like a music teacher, which is fun. And he was nice, fun, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And the only thing that really bothered me is the third act breakup part of this book was basically just the standard, yeah, I really like you and like da-da-da, but I can't be in a relationship. I just won't. And that's just annoying because it's like, okay, well then I'm gonna leave because I don't care. I don't care to hear this. I think I went with a 3-star rating for this book, if I'm remembering correctly. It might have been a little bit higher, but yeah, I would try it. If you like Ali Hazelwood, this kind of gave me a little bit of the same vibe, like with the dissertation talk, you know, kind of academia-y. So maybe try it. It's a fun cover and it got me where I wanted to go. I don't know what that means. I don't know what I mean by that. Next, I actually listened to an audiobook. So I listened to Love Theoretically, actually kind of at the same time as I was reading Love in the Time of Serial Killers. I just kind of switched between. That's what I really felt, that Ali Hazelwood vibe, I feel, because I could compare it like straight. So yeah, I was really in the mood to listen to an audiobook, and Love Theoretically is my all-time favourite romance, so I thought that would be a good time to read it around Valentine's Day again. I was a little bit nervous going into it that it might not live up to my expectations of the book because I love the book so much. Blew me out of the water. It was so fun. I listened to it in like two or 3 days really quickly. Had such a good time. It was amazing. Love Ali, still a 5-star. Couldn't recommend Love Theoretically enough. I don't really remember the plot. Physical book I read. I finally did it. Oh, look at that. That is satisfying as fuck. Magnolia Park's A Long Way Home. This was a 5-star. I rate this a 5-star. I'm just going to throw it out there. I have been terrified to get back into the Magnolia Park universe, specifically to get back into the BJ Magnolia storyline. And yeah, I read it in like 2 or 3 days. It was phenomenal. It was also the most aggravating book I think I've ever read. Like the constant back and forth between these characters, like, I think I did a reading vlog when I was reading this, and I think I said in it, like, this is my cautionary tale. If you could not handle, like, toxicity, back and forth, things happening again and again and again, just don't. And I really do feel with this book, whenever I, like, tell someone that I love it or, like, recommend it to someone, I'm like, there's a really, really strong chance you're gonna hate it. There's a really strong chance you're gonna hate it. But if you don't, you're gonna love it. That's just the truth of it. It's so bad that it's so good. So bad and good. And there were times when I hated it, and there was times when I loved it, and there's times when I was crying my eyes out because of this book. The ending really, really, really took it there for no good reason. The last 4 pages, literally, like, the last 4 pages, she just added the most horrifying thing that I've ever read. And yeah, ripped my heart out my chest. Thank you very much, Jessa Hastings. So after that, I was still really in the mood to listen to an audiobook, and after the success that Love Theoretically was, I decided to pull out Love on the Brain and listen to that audiobook, and I ended up upping my rating. I originally rated this a 4.5, but on the audiobook I was like 4.75. That was so fucking good. I enjoyed listening to this as an audiobook just as much as Love Theoretically. Just as much. So much fun. What is this book even about? It's just another one of her, like, STEM situations, but this one takes place around, like, NASA. But what is it about? I think it's about neuroengineering is, like, the topic that we're going down. So this girl B, and I think she's just got on a new job. She just got put on this new project with NASA, and she gets there, and then she realizes the lead of the project is this guy that she thought absolutely hated her in, like, uni. And it's just a bit of an awkward situation, but does he really hate her? You know what I mean? So good. I actually love Levi. I remember a lot of people saying when this came out after The Love Hypothesis that they didn't think it was quite as good. I think I prefer Love on the Brain to The Love Hypothesis. Don't shoot the messenger, but yeah. I would so recommend listening to Ali Hazelwood books on audiobook because they're just so fun, quick, just the best. So as I said, I wanted more Ali Hazelwood, so I picked up Bride because it had literally come out 2 days before I read this. This is Ali's new release. But this is very different. This isn't another, like, STEM romance situation, which I wouldn't have been mad if it was. I want more of those. But this is like a werewolf vampire situation, which is very different. But it's kind of like Twilighty in that it is real life. Like, this isn't fantasy, it's just like paranormal. We're following this girl Misery, and she basically gets, like, given over to the werewolf. She's a vampire, and the vampires give her to the werewolves as like a safety thing of, like, okay, you have our person, we have your person, like, we've got to be nice to each other type of thing. Very, very weird. So the way that they do that is she has to marry the alpha of the werewolves pack. I'm not used to this terminology. You know, they get married and you can imagine what happens from there. I rated this like a 4, so it is my lowest rated Ali Hazelwood book. It was good, just if you know, you know. There were certain elements that just didn't really work for me, kind of icked me out, made me feel a bit weird. That's just me. I'm not, you know, saying there's anything wrong with what was happening in the books, but that's just how I felt. So yeah. I was a little bit of a letdown. The chemistry between characters, I didn't feel it that much. Like, I wasn't that into it. It was fine. It was pretty good. I mean, it was good because I just love all her books, but I was a little bit let down because I really love her books. You know what I mean? It's one of those. Okay, the next thing I read was Stalking Jack the Ripper. I've been meaning to pick this up for, like, ages. I got the whole box set for Christmas. And yeah, it's basically just like a fictionalization of the Jack the Ripper case, whatever, with a young girl solving it. Starting it, it took me a while to get into. The first 50 to 100 pages, I was like, I don't know. This is a lot of description of dead bodies and just walking around. Bit weird. I ended up really enjoying it though. I read it over like a 24-hour challenge period. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Once I kind of made myself sit down and read it. I gave it like a 3.75. So yeah, it was fine, but I'm excited to continue the series, and don't really have much more to say in it. There is romance in this, and the romance is kind of random. Sometimes they'll just pop up and they'll get really, really flirty, like really weirdly flirty for like a page, and then move back onto the dead body stuff. Interesting combination to me, but that is just me. Next, I actually read a book on my Kindle. I read The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I read this on my Kindle and I really, really enjoyed it. I've been meaning to read the series for like a very long time because I love hockey romance and I love Elle Kennedy's writing, so I don't know why I haven't got into it yet. But yeah, I read that, really enjoyed it. I think I gave it like a 4.25. It was pretty good for a hockey romance. Sometimes they can be a bit hit and miss, but it was a pretty good one. I think it's like a fake dating situation. Like the main girl fancies a guy in her class. Another guy, like the head, like the most popular hockey player in the school, he needs to pass an exam and she's really smart. So he's like, tutor me and I will make him jealous. And yeah, you can imagine where it goes from there. Pretty good. I liked it. Next, I read in the 24-hour situation as well, All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the third book in the Natural series, which is a series I absolutely love. I love YA mysteries in general. And this is kind of like a Criminal Minds, but like young adult take on that, which is really fun. In this book, they are not in their usual location. They are on like a travel situation, excursion case, I don't know what I'm saying, to Las Vegas. So we get a new setting and we explore a lot more into the background of one particular character, which we don't really get into the end of the book, so that was fun. This took me a while to get into. I felt like this whole section dragged, and then the last part of it was incredible. So I think I gave it like a 4.25. It was probably my least favourite out of the book so far, but I'm still really enjoyed it and I'm still very excited to continue the series. After reading that, I just had a bit of a slump. I started The Kingmaker by Kennedy Ryan and I just couldn't get into it at all. I started Starling House. I'm still kind of reading that. And yeah, I was just not like, I couldn't get into any books. And then I started Saving Six by Chloe Walsh, and holy, this rocked my world. This book absolutely shook my world. I rated it a 5-star. 2 5-stars this month. Let's talk about it. That doesn't happen very often. Yeah, this is the third book in the Boys of Coman series. The first 2 books I originally rated 4.75. In my mind, they've gone up to 5 stars. They just have, because I think about them all the time. This follows Joey and Ether. Joey is the brother of the main girl in the first 2 books, and yeah, you find out in the first 2 books they have a horrible home life, like really, really terrible, and Joey is kind of like, he has to take all the responsibility of looking after his siblings and providing for his family, and it's just horrible. It's a horrible situation. And then you have Ether, who is this like fun, bubbly girl in school, and she immediately feels this connection like from first year. This starts in first year of like secondary school with Joey, but he's pushing her away because he's like, no, we can't do that. And yeah, it's just amazing. It's amazing. If you read Binding 13, Keeping 13 and you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna love the next ones as much because I love Johnny and Shannon, really, really, really would recommend trying it because this was so good and I loved it so much. Just to wrap that off, I will tell you that I'm currently still reading Starling House. It's not really my thing, but it's okay, and I'm gonna finish it because I want to. And I think I'm gonna start Redeeming Six today by Chloe Walsh, and this will take me, I believe, to the end of the month. Very excited about this because I think we're gonna get more of like the whole gang from the first few books. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Okay, now I'm going to take you through really quickly my March TBR. I am going to be away for the first week of March, like not at home at all, and then the last week of March I'm going on holiday. So I have a lot of books still. I've got like 7 or 8 books here, but we will see how many I really get through because March is going to be busy. The book is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I bought this recently because I thought it would be good for my holiday. It's nice and short and I've heard that it's really good. I thought it would be a nice book to read on holiday. Next book is What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. I don't know how to pronounce that last name, but I bought this last year. I saw it on Bookstagram, and as soon as I like read what it was about, I was like, oh, I need that, and I still haven't read it, so I really need to because I'm so excited about it. It kind of is like an it takes place in like Egypt, and I think it's surrounding like archaeology maybe, and oh, that just sounds really good. That's like something that gets me excited. So What the River Knows. Then we have Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. This is the next book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. Like I said, I want to continue it because I have the box set and I want to see if it gets better, to be honest. I'm hoping it gets better. Not that it was terrible, but I have really high expectations of this series going into it, so I'm really hoping to love this. Next book is Wildfire. I also bought this recently because I thought it would be good for my holiday again. This is the second book in the Maple Hills series. It was like it started off as like hockey romance, the first book. I liked it, it was good. This takes place at like a summer camp, so very different, but I'm still interested to see what it's like. Then we have Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. I am so excited about this book. This is Elle Kennedy's new release. I love her books, I love her romances, I think they're so good. And this is like a girl who is moving over to London for a year abroad, like a study abroad situation, and then there's romances with I think the people that she ends up living with. I don't know, but I'm very excited about it because I love Elle Kennedy. Next is Voyage of the Damned. This was I think maybe last month's Illumicrate. I might be wrong, but it was a recent Illumicrate, and it's kind of like a whodunit that takes place on this boat. I don't know, but it sounds very, very interesting, and I'm very interested to read it. And then to finish this off, I have Play With Me by Rebecca Mack. This was the only book out of all of these that was on my February TBR. I need to just start it and get into it because I've already tried to read this before and I DNF'd it. This was ages ago, like probably a year ago. So I want to give it another shot because I love the series. This is the Playing for Keeps series by Rebecca Mack. So I need to just give it another shot. And if I don't like it, I'll just DNF it. But I just need to start it. So I'm going to put it on my TBR. That is all the books that I have read this month. All the books that I'm planning on reading next month. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. And yeah.